Hi everyone, Martin here from martinsmayhem.co.uk. I hope you're all well. So today's card, we're going to be creating this one that you see here. It's really simple to do, but very time consuming with all the different elements. So I'm not going to talk too much and I'm just really going to crack on. When a friend is looking at me as if to say, who is he talking to? Is he talking to me? Who knows? So I'm using two stamp sets. I'm using the Sketch Plaid stamp set, which you would have seen me use before, as well as the Sending Smile stamp sets, and I'm only using this for the sentiment, which is the sending sunshine to brighten your day, and this is just going to be the background stamp. The main feature is the Daisy die, which is from something Daisies. It's towards the back of the catalogue. Here we go. What are the dies called? Cheerful Daisy dies. Okay, so I'm just going to use that. And shall we just get started? So I'm going to pull this out of the way. So as I know, this card's going to take a lot of time. I've pre-done some die cutting to try and save time, and I suppose I could have coloured the images as well, but equally I just wanted to get on with recording the video. So I'm cutting a card base down to a standard C6, UK C6, so it's 10.5 centimetres by 14.8. I'm going to fold that in half, like so. That. Then I'm gonna use this bit to cut a matte layer, which is 13.8 by 9.5. That can go to one side by 9.5. So that's our matte layer. It says that looked really small, but that's right. What else do we need to cut down? We can cut down a piece of Daffodil Delight. So I'm just going to cut this into a card base kind of length. So if I ever wanted to use a bit as a card base, I have a card base good to go. But I'm going to cut 2 inch, well, two lots of 1 inch strips. And that's going to make our banner a little later. But while I've got it out, I might as well do all the cutting now. And I think these are 1 inch by 1 inch. Would help if I had a ruler. Let's just measure 1 inch by 1 inch, yeah. So, might as well cut these down to 1 inch by 1 inch. So you got 1 inch squared twice. How long was this bit? Let's do it in centimetres, because I don't get inches. By 9.5 centimetres. So this needs to be 9.5 centimetres long. That's rubbish. I can go. So we can literally just take off a centimetre, and there is our banner already good to go. Yes, wonderful. Okay, so that's our cutting done for now. I'm gonna pop this with these two bits out of the way because we're gonna stamp our background using that Sketch Plaid stamp set. And we're doing that in coordinating ink. So this is one thing I love about Stampin' Up, is the ink matches the cardstock, matches the embellishments, matches the markers. It's fantastic. So I've got Tahitian Tide ink, which is one of our ink colours. I'm going to ink up the background like so. And I created another card and I missed a little bit last time, so I'm going to grab some white paper. Winifred. It's fine. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to grab some copy of paper. I'm just going to let her out because she's now on edge. Go on, then. Go on. Oh dear. Dog's there. Got some copy of paper. I'm going to lay my matte layer over. So I'm going to line it up at the bottom. Like so. Put that down. And this way I can give it a really good rub without being concerned about my fingers. I was going to say my fingers or my toes, but I'm not going to get my toes involved. And then lift that off. And there we have our background. Wonderful. I'm going to put that away and I'll clean it up later. So there is that. Is that still in shot? Yeah, let's just move it further out of the way so I have more space. So there's that. I'm going to put that to one side as well because I don't need that right now. I'm going to bring in my die cut elements. As I said, I've already die cut them to save a little bit of time. But what I haven't done is I haven't coloured them. So the colours for them I'm using is Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, which you can't see because the label's kind of faded, and Berry Burst. Now, I love these colours together. Berry Burst isn't my favourite, or should I say it wasn't, because it soon became my favourite with this card. I love the intensity of the colour achieved. And remember, I shared that blue card with these dies before. I kind of wish I used this colour instead of Bubble Bath. 100% biggest mistake I've made in my card making lifetime. So yeah, I've got 2 of the 4 dies, and then I've got 2 extra leaves because I've got 4 sets of leaves on this project. I've got my little pot of water here. I've got my flannel. Life. One sec. I have my water painter and I've got my flannel. So if you don't know, I like to have my flannel on hand, you can see, just so that I can dip and dab off any excess water, and then I'm just going to add colour like so, not being overly precise. I think that's a little bit too wet for my liking. I want a little bit more intense, but there we go. A little bit more of that ink. Now this is quite messy and it's going to be, but that's how the style I want. So it's far too wet. Let's bring in more ink. There we go. Now I'm just using basic white cardstock because I'm not using a lot of water. It's fine. However, if you're gonna literally paint with water, then I would recommend switching out to something more durable when using the water. So let's do the Berry Burst next. I think, give it a little pinch. There we go. Gonna dampen that off, pick up the colour, and then literally pile it on like so. Be quite messy with it. I mean, I've got a lot of colour there. It's a lot of water. I'm just gonna go in and gently tease it out. Just gonna dab it. soften it a little bit, like so. Just grab some more and go on to this one. And you can see I'm not being too particular about it. Like that's quite wet now, which I've gone polar opposites to what I want. This one I can just, like I'm not bothered about white bits either. Dab that off. Pick up some more of that intense colour. That's more like it. That's what I want to be achieving. There we go. Okay, so let's quickly go on to this one. Just dab that off. Lay down that colour. I mean, you can always add more, you can't take it away, as you can tell from that one. But just work with it, like there's no right and there's no wrong. So like I feel like I'm running out of water now. Let's just see if I can get this one done before, no, add a little bit more water. Then go back in with the more intense colour. Like so. Just a little bit of water. I'll blend out that lines because it looks like scratch marks currently, which is not what I want. But there you go. You get the gist, yeah? Cool. Wonderbar. Let's just clean off my brush. And we'll do the leaves next. And once the leaves are done, it's a matter. Well, once we've done the leaves, we'll leave them to dry and we'll do the sentiment. And then we can leave it all to dry. What I've just said that. Once we've done this, we can leave it to dry. We'll do the sentiment and then we'll start assembling. So I'm just going to lay the ink down quite roughly. Like so. And on this one. Got a little bit of green on that petal, but it's fine. So we'll move them to one side and let them dry. Again, I haven't been too precise with them. I don't really care. Because that's not the main focus part. They're not going to be looking at the detail or how precise the colouring is. They're going to be looking at the card as a whole. And actually I'm going to keep them on here just so I don't make a mess of my actual desk. Just move them over to the side and give this a wipe. I think I have a wipe to hand. Just so I can pick up any of that ink. Give it a wipe down. Perfect. Wonderful. So our sentiment. We are going to bring back the Daffodil Delight that we had earlier. And we need a piece of basic white, which I think I had a scrap available. Yes. Yeah. So you're going to stamp the sentiment in Versamark and emboss in black embossing powder. So I'm going to stamp the sending onto the Daffodil Delight and Sunshine to Brighten Your Day onto with basic white, and that's it. Now, what have I done with my embossing buddy? Oh, it's there. Now, I highly recommend with our black embossing powder to use our embossing buddy. Cannot recommend it enough. Black is one of those colours, it's very, I don't know, we just don't get on. So I'm just going to ink that up and stamp it down. And then ink this one up and stamp that down. Wonderful. Move them to one side. Now, I just don't get on with black embossing powder, which is why I always prefer to stamp in black. However, because I'm doing it on coloured cardstock, and because I'm already doing it on coloured, so it stands out more. But because I've done that in black embossing, I also needed to do the other sentiment strip in black embossing, just so it matched. So I'm going to sprinkle that over, like so. I don't want to tap off too much. But yeah, so there's that. Let's sprinkle some onto this. I mean, I tried. That didn't work. I just don't like it. Stresses me out. So I've done that into our Additions embossing caddy. I'll scoot that back into that later. But for now, let's just heat this up and get it done. There's that. Wonderful. So there's them two elements. Let's cut this down first. So I'm just going to do my normal trick of lining up the bottom and cutting, and then lining up the top and then giving it a cut. So there's that element that can go. I'm just going to put it straight in the bin because ain't nobody got time for that. So we need to die cut this. Now there is a coordinating die for this sentiment, which is fantastic. So I can just line that up and die cut it. Pop that into our machine, our custom emboss machine, like so. Lining it up. And I'm just going to pop that down. Okay, run that through. There we go. That can go away. Now, pull this out. There's that. And pop that away. There we go. So there we have the sentiment done. where's our elements? So we've got our background there. I'm going to pop these up onto mini dimensionals. I have embossing powder all over me. Or not embossing powder, the embossing buddy. All over me. Sending. So I'm going to take these backs off. And I'm going to pop that in the centre. Like so. Wonderful. I'm going to cut both these down into a fish tail. So I'm doing both at the same time. I'm literally just going to go down the centre and then from either side in. And then either side in. Like so. And there you have two that are the exact same. Again, I'm just going to grab mini dimensional. So I want this in the top corner and this in the bottom corner, so that's going to go on like so. So I'm going to pop that back off and pop that back off. And I'm just going to eyeball it to where I want it. Like so, and then do the same but opposite. So this is at the top, I'm doing this one at the bottom. So I'm doing this one at the bottom and then this one at the top. Take the back off. Now you want it roughly even. Like so. And there you have a cute little banner. So we're not going to adhere that down just yet. What we can do is we can do this sentiment strip. So I'm just going to cut the ends off slightly. Again, just to mimic that fishtail end. Fishtail it. Fishtail, fishtail. Okay, and that's going to go on like so. Now, one thing that I didn't do, so I didn't copy the angle of the bottom edge when I did my card, and it really infuriates me. So when you do yours, make sure you mimic it because you'll hate yourself otherwise. And I hope that makes sense, is what I mean. So like this edge should run parallel to that bit and not at a different angle. It should mimic that angle like so. I hope that makes sense. So now back onto these bits. We've got two elements already cut out here. I am just going to trim them down because we don't want this bottom bit in. There's them. We can cut this bit off here. And this one. Like so. And then all of these elements are going to be separate from each other. And you are going to have one extra one of these ones. So go in there and cut it down. And what I would say is take your time just to tidy these off, because it will make all the difference for the final project. That one's fine. one. Let's cut this one out. So I don't like this one. So I won't use that one. I'll use these two, so cut these down and just tidy them up. Like so. Okay, so there's that. Now on to the fun bit of assembling. So you know me, I like dimension. I'm just going to use dimensionals to pop these up. And not on this one. I'm going to use a mini on this one. I can pop dimensional on this one. And another mini on this one, and a big one on this one. And a mini, I said, on this one, like so. These can be set down with a wide variety, but I'm going to pop these where I want them first. And I'm going in a corner to corner motion. So, I think that's more like that. I think that one's more this way. And this one's down here. And this one's up here. Like so. And then just making sure that looks okay. That's going to be popped up there. So this one I want a little more over this way. This one a little bit more over that way. And like that. I'm happy. So I can just now adhere these on. Like so. Oh, that's gone straight into my pot of water. And this one. Here. And then these, let's just grab mini dimensional for there. Mini dimensional for there. I'm just going to sit these all down with dimensionals rather than get out liquid glue. Like so. Turn these ones around. Let's grab mini dimensional for that one. I think I did all of these with mini dimensionals. He says. I don't remember. Dimensional, dimensional, dimensional. Don't know why I did that one. That one's a dimensional too. Okay, so they were all done with dimensionals originally. So I'm not changing the script to this project. Well, not too much anyway. Now, before I add the sentiment, I love an ink splatter, you know me, so I'm grabbing my Winsor Newton ink. So this is just white drawing ink, which I have from when I studied fine art. And I mean, this is still my original white, so it lasts a long time. And I'm just using an old water painter just to add the ink splatter with, and it dries reasonably quickly. Like, not quick enough for the sake of a video, I'm not gonna lie. I would love if it was instant, but it's not. So I'm just gonna pick that up and pop that over. Grab my cloth again. Give that a little wipe. Use my flannel. And there we go. So there's that. Our sentiments then going to be popped across our project like so. And again, I'm just going to pop them up on dimensionals. And I know, dimensional heavy, people don't like it because of postage, but I hand deliver this one. A little bit too much of an angle. So there we go. Oh, it's got a little bit stuck. There we go. So that's that. Then we can just flip this round and add some more dimensionals to the back. 1, 2. Just had this horrible fear that the video wasn't recording then. I think I would have cried because I've sat here talking to myself like a loon for too long. So, that's fine. Bringing in our card base, make sure it's the right way up, which that's not. Peel off the backs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then just line that up and pop it down. And there you have today's project. So I hope you enjoyed today's card. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Full supply list is available in the description of this video, so make sure you check them out, as well as links to my online store for you to purchase the items yourself. Other than that, I'll see you guys later. Bye.